was once a grandmother who loved her granddaughter so much. She used to knit things for her and sew wonderful clothes for her. One time she made her a gorgeous little red cap, and she sent it. And when the girl received it, she was overjoyed. She said to her mother, "I will wear this cap every single day, Mama." And her mother said, "Well, then we shall call you from now on Little Red Cap." One day, Mother said to Little Red Cap, "Child, your poor grandmother, who loves you so much, she is sick and she is in her bed in her house. Please bring these cakes to her and a bottle of wine. It'll make her feel fit and hearty again. Now, please, child, hurry up. And remember your manners when you get there." "Okay, Mama." Little Red Cap, she went out the door, and under her apron she was carrying the cakes and the bottle of wine. And for a while all went fine. She went along the high road and in through the woods. And there she came to the crossroads, and standing at the crossroads was the wolf. And the wolf said, "Where do you go, little girl?" "I'm Little Red Cap, and I'm going to take these cakes and a bottle of wine to my granny. She's sick in her bed. She's not hale and hearty, but this will make her feel much better." "Aren't you the fine child?" said the wolf, and then thought to himself, "Going to grandmother's, huh? I think the grandmother and this child would make a tasty meal. I'll walk along with her a while." "May I go with you a while, child?" "Of course." And they both went along the way. And then the wolf said, "Child, it's such a lovely day," said the wolf. "Why do you rush to your grandmother's house? You young people rushing everywhere these days. Why don't you collect some posies, some beautiful flowers, and bring them to your grandmother? Take your time. And why don't you listen to the songs of the birds? It's so sweet." "What a good idea. I think I'll do that," said Little Red Cap. And so she began to pick flowers by the side of the road. Pretty one there, beautiful one there, a gorgeous one there. And she wandered off the road into the woods, further and further, picking more flowers, listening to the sound of the birds, so sweet. Meanwhile, the wolf went back to the street and along the road until he came to Grandma's house. He went inside and he killed her and ate her into his belly. When Little Red Cap had gathered a beautiful bunch of flowers, she made her way along the road once more and came to Grandmother's house. She knocked upon the door. "Grandmother, it's me, it's Little Red Cap." "Open the door, child, and come in." "Okay, just lift the latch," cried a sweet voice. Little Red Cap, she lifted the latch and she went inside. She walked in and she placed the cakes upon the table and the wine too. But she felt most uncomfortable and strange. She couldn't figure out why. "Grandmother, I put your cakes on the table and the wine. Would you like some now?" "No, child, just come up and say hello." Little Red Cap, she went up the stairs. She opened up the bedroom door, and there she saw, in the bed, there was the wolf, but it had Grandmother's bed cap pulled low over its head. The child walked in to the gloomy darkness of the bedroom. "Grandmother, is that you?" "Yes, child, it's me." "Grandmother, it's so lovely to see you. Shall I bring the cakes up?" "No, child, just come closer and say hello." The child walked close to the bed. She looked down and she saw the great ears of the wolf sticking out from the cap. "Grandmother, what big ears you have." "All the better to hear you with, my child." "Grandmother?" "Yes." "What big eyes you have." "All the better to see you with, my child." "Grandmother?" "Yes." "What a big nose you have." "All the better to sniff the air with, my child." "Grandmother?" "Yes." What big teeth you have." "All the better to eat you with, my child." and the wolf jumped up and devoured Little Red Cap. The wolf sat back.
Oh, that was so tasty. Well, I'm full. Grandmother and Little Red Cap in my tummy. It's time for a sleep. Yeah.
As the wolf was sleeping, by the house came walking the huntsman, and he heard the sound of snores from grandmother's bedroom. Huntsman said to himself, "That doesn't sound like grandmother. I'd better go in and have a look." And he saw the open door. He walked inside. On the table, he spied the cakes and the bottle of wine. And he smelled something. He had been a huntsman for many years. His senses were sharp. He walked up the stairs. He thought to himself, "This is grandmother's house, but it smells like the wolf's been here." And he walked into the bedroom, and there he saw, lying on the bed, there was the wolf, his paws behind his head, fast asleep, with a big, huge lump in his belly where he had eaten Little Red Cap and her grandmother. Well, the huntsman said, "Well, look at the old sinner. I've caught him at last." And he took his scissors, and he snip, snip, snip at the wolf's belly. In he went, and out jumped Little Red Cap. And she said, Thank you, said the huntsman. "There's still a big lump in there. It's grandmother. He's eaten grandmother too." Snip, snip, snip. And they opened it wider, and out jumped grandmother. Then a Little Red Riding Hood. She ran quietly down the stairs, out into the garden, picked up 2 big rocks, ran back upstairs, and she put them in the wolf's belly. And Grandma and the huntsman sewed it up again. And then they crept out to await what would happen. There they were, looking out from the forest trees, smiling to each other and giggling quietly. The wolf woke up.
That was a wonderful meal. I tricked them well. Little Red Cap and her grandmother, so tasty. I'm going to go now. I think I've eaten too much. My tummy feels too heavy.
And as soon as he got out of the bed and tried to walk, he tripped and fell with the weight of the rocks in his tummy and tumbled and rumbled down the stairs, where he fell down dead. In came Little Red Cap and her grandmother and the huntsman. "Hooray!" they cried. "We've done for the wolf." And that was the end of that wolf. Little Red Cap, she said goodbye to her grandmother and skipped merrily along the road home. When Little Red Cap got home, she told her mother everything that happened, how the wolf had devoured her and her grandmother, but how the huntsman came and how they tricked the wolf and survived. "Well done, Little Red Cap," said her mother. "I'm so glad you got out of that situation." Now, a few days later, Mother sent Little Red Cap once more to Grandmother's house with cakes and wine. And as she went along the road, she met another wolf who asked her where she was going. She just said, "I'm going straight to my grandmother's house," and went there fast as anything. But the wolf followed her. Oh, he meant to devour her. And he knocked at that door and he said, "Grandmother, grandmother, it's Little Red Cap bringing cakes for you." "No, it is not," said Grandmother, "and you shall not get in." There she was behind the door with Little Red Cap. This wolf, he jumped up on the roof. He was meaning to jump down on Little Red Cap when she came out to go home. Oh, he was ready to pounce. But Grandmother said to Little Red Cap, "Little Red Cap, yesterday I was boiling sausages. I still have the water. There's a lovely smell of it. Quickly open the door and pour the bucket of sausage water into the trough that's right outside." Oh, Grandmother was well ready for this wolf. She knew he'd be plotting to get Little Red Cap. Quickly, Little Red Cap, she took the bucket of water to the door. She opened it and she threw the bucket of water into the trough outside. Then she shut the door. The wolf, hiding on the roof, when he heard the commotion, he reached his head over the roof to see what was going on, and he smelt the delicious smell of the sausage water. He leaned right over, so much so that he fell off the roof straight into the trough of sausage water and drowned. And that was the end of the wolf. Then Little Red Cap kissed her grandmother, went out the door, and cheerfully went on her way home, and came to no harm.
Cochaillín Dearg. Bhí dhirsach lách an trá, a bhí báirt le gachtainna, ach lena hanmháthair thar aon duine eile. Nach bhá reithí riamh a cuideachta na gcuirse. Thugas seanmháthair Cochaillín de bhelbhid Dearg dé trá, agus tuisc gur eil sé chomh mór sin dé, agus nach gathach sí aon rud eile tugadh Cochaillín Dearg orthu. Láháin dúirt amáthair léthaí. Goile a Cochaillín Dearg. Tá cácaí agus fleasc fianna an seothagam duit le tabhairteach de hanmháthair. Tá sí lag agus tín agus déanadh siad maithasté. Déan Jeffer agus imileadsa le nairíonn sé te. Siúl go cuí agus go deas agus ná rith. Áitis go ditse agus go mriseán fleasc fianna, agus nach meach éon bhréon fácad do hanmháthair. Agus nuair a héon tú isteach na seomra, ná déan dearmad maidian watharrá, in ionad seasamh ag baint lán na súil as a bhfuil timpeall ort. Ba mé cuaireamach go cinse sa Cochaillín Dearg lena máthair, agus chroch sí lábhair. Anis bhí an seanmháthair ina cónaí amus sa chail, lethúir siúil ón seanmhaile, agus nuair a phric Cochaillín Dearg an chail, bhúil sí leis an mac tíre. Ach tuisc nach rá a seiceigh an drochsort anibhí a bhí an, ní rá ágla orthu. Dí ghuid se Cochaillín Dearg ar sé. Dí smurgait a bhíh tíre a dreagar sé. Cá bhfuil de phríal chomh moch se th maidian a Cochaillín Dearg. Hiag teach me hanmháthair a dreagar sé. Catá ampar agat faoi den aprún. Cácaí agus fian, mhácail mu dinné, agus tá me hanmháthair an lag agus tín, agus déanadh siad maithastí mar sin, agus cuireadh siad neartain sin. Cá bhfuil de hanmháthair ina cónaí a Cochaillín Dearg. 4,000 siúil ón áit seo. Tá teach site faoi 3 chrán darach, agus seansca neithnóid tú é óna tar coile sa Cochaillín Dearg. Dúirt an mac tíre leis féin, bheith an dhiirseach bhog sin an bhlasta, agus bheith blas níos fearr orthu ná ar an teanbhean. Ní mór dá man bhirteach go áil ar chu dhéigean. An sin shiúil sé aice le Cochaillín Dearg ar feadh tamalaín, agus dúirt sé. Cochaillín Dearg féach ar na bláhanna áile sin atá ag fás thar timpeall ort. Agus ní cheapan gúil tú ag éisteach le ceol na néin. Tá tú ag brostó álas gúil tú ag dul ar scoil. Agus té sé chomh-híomhann sin a mthain seo sa chail. Thug Cochaillín Dearg srach éachans timpeall orthu. Agus nuair a tháinig sí na grathan na gréine ag dul de léim an seothas an siúd i measc na grán, agus na bláhanna áile i ngach áit. Dúirt sí le héin. Dá dúirín bláhanna do me hanmháthair, bheadh sí ansásta. Agus tá sé chomh moch sin ar maidian, go sreithí mé a teach in am go leor. Agus mar sin, ris sí timpeall na coile a cuairteach bláhanna. Agus nuair a phioc sí ceann, tháinig sí ceann ní ba áile ní ba uide uathu. Agus mar sin, thuaigh sí ní buide isteach agus ní buide isteach sa chail. Ach Jimmy an mac tíre, díreach ag teach na seanmáthair, agus bhúil sé cnag ar an doras. Cé tá an ar san seanmáthair? Cochaillín Dearg a dreagar sé, agus tá cácaí agus fian agam dit, oscail an doras le a hell. Ordaí an leiste ar sa an seanmáthair. Tá mé ró lag le hairí. Mar sin, d'ordaí an mac tíre an leiste, agus doscail an doras de freab. Agus rug sé an seanmáthair, agus dis sé í gan focail ará. An sin gléis sé héin ina cuidédaí, chuir sé ar a capín, leigh sé siar sa leaba, agus tharraim sé na cortíní. Idir an dálainn bhí Cochaillín Dearg ag rit timpeall I measc na mláhanna, agus nuair a bhaile sí a Rosaí an anna iompar, chuimhní sí ar a seanmáthair, agus Jimmy sí léthaí thucaí. Bhí íonúirthaí an doras a eicáil ar oscailt, agus nuair a thuaidh sí isteach, bhreas sí an eisteach. Agus dúirt sí le féin, a bhuiricín, braham chun mí chompordach, nuair a bhí me cho sásta ar maidin a bheith ag dulthaigh me seanmáthair. Agus nuair a dúirt sí, maidin mhaith, níor thula sí freagra ar bith. An sin thuaidh sí có fada leis an leaba, agus doscail sí na cortíní. Bhí an seanmáthair ina leigh an sin leis an gapín tarraingthe nús ar a súile, ónas go raibh cuma an éit orthu. Ó a seanmáthair, nach mór na clúsa atá ort. Níos fearr le cloisteáil leo. Ó a seanmáthair, nach mór na súile atá agat. Níos fearr le feiceáil leo. Ó a seanmáthair, nach mór na lámha atá agat. Níos fearr le brethart. Ach a seanmáthair, nach uafásach mór an béal atá ort. Níos fearr le tua ithe, agus níor luaithe ráite ag an matír ná gur thug sé léim amháin ón leaba, agus phleog sé siar Cochaillín Dearg bocht. An sin agus a háid itse aige, leigh sé siar a rís sa leaba, thuaidh sé a chola, agus thosa sé ag sreanna go tréan. Thula an tealgara agus ag dul haar bráid, agus dúirt sé leis féin, nach glórach an sreanna ag an seanbhain. Bearda máil amach bhfuil sé aon rud cearr leithí. An sin thuaidh sé isteach sa seomra, shiúil sé go dtí an leaba, agus tháinig sé an mac tíre an. Dearg hir daimsí me thu a feici a dúirt sé. Bhí méid a chuirteach le fada an lá. Agus thocraí sé gur thlog an mac tíre an seanmáthair de éon alpa bháin, agus grá seans an fós I a hábháil. Níor scaoil sé orchar mar sin, a thóg sé deimhis, agus thosa sé ag scoilte corp an mhic tíre. Nuair a bhí gearan ó dhó déanta aige, nochtú Cochaillín Dearg, agus rééis gearan ó dhó eile léim sí amach agus glí sí. Ó, a bhuiricín bhí an irid agla orm, tá sé cho dorcha sin leis sitt an mac tíre. Agus an sin amach leis an seanmáthair I fós beo. A chuaigh Cochaillín Dearg agus fuair sí rint clocha mór agus scioppa, agus líonn siad corp an mhic tíre leo. Mar sin, nuair a thuaidh sí an mac tíre, agus nuair a rinne sé iireacht téthú, bhí na clocha có trom sin gur hit sé agus fuair sé bás. Bhí áthas an domhan ar an trúr acu. Bhain an tealgar a creacan an mhic tíre dé agus thug sé leis a bhaile é. Dí an seanmáthair na cácaí agus dóil sí an fian, agus dardaí sí a ceann a rís, agus dúirt Cochaillín Dearg léithí féin, nach rathach sí ar seocrán sa chail ina héin ar riomh a rís, agus go néisteach sí festa leis an méid a dúirt a máthair léithí. Ní mór a insint freisin an chuí ar leabhar mac tíre eile le Cochaillín Dearg rins léithinte ina dhiaidh sin, nuair a bhí sí ag tuairt cáchaí ag a seanmáthair a rís. Agus é ag iarraidh a bheala ón gosán, ach bhí sí ar a thara, agus thuaidh sí díreach isteach ag a seanmáthair, agus dinne siad a seanmáthair faoin gcuí ar bhfuil sí leis an mac tíre sin. Agus gur bheanna sé dí, ach ra cuma có thulc sin airs na súile, gur cheap sí go mbeadh sí sliocha aige dá mar rud é nach raibh siad ar an máthair mór. Gaeilge ar san seanmáthair, dúnta muid an doras, ionas nach féidir leis teacht isteach. Go gearr ina dhiaidh sin, tháinig an mac tíre ag cnagad ar an doras, agus ar gcliath amach. Oscail an doras a seanmáthair, is mise Cochaillín Dearg le cáchaí duit. Ach dan siad sochar, agus níor oscail siad an doras. Ina dhiaidh sin, héiltí an mac tíre feadh tí, agus d'éirí leis an díon a bhaint amach chun fannacht go dtí go bhfuilfeadh Cochaillín Dearg a bhaile an tráthnóna sin. Bhí sé ag éiste ag léamorthaíonn sin, agus dhearchlogad sa dorchadas. Ach thuig an seanmáthair an plean sin. Anois, bhí troch mór cluicheos cór an tí, agus dúirt an seanmáthair leis an báiste. A Cochaillín Dearg, bhí méid fiocha ispíní inné. Tóg an bocéad mar sin, agus iompar an tuisce inar fiochaid, agus dúirt isteach sa trocha. Agus rinne Cochaillín Dearg amhla, go dtí go raibh an troch réasúnta lán. Nuair a bhfuil bolla na nispíní an mac tíre, rinne sé smórthacht, agus déach sé timpeall, agus híonn sé a bhainneal có fada sin amach, gur banú dá chortha agus thosa sé ag sleamhnú. Agus sleamhnaí sé an nús den díon, agus díreach isteach sa troch mór agus báha. An sin, thuaigh Cochaillín Dearg a bhaile, go bra sunna sásta, agus ní raibh dí ná díomháil orthu.